Hello and welcome to 1 Minute Theatre Reviews. I'm Paul Seven Lewis. This is the lovely Watermill Theatre in Newbury, and I'm here to see Whistle Down the Wind. This production of Whistle Down the Wind offers a radical reinterpretation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Problem musical. I say problem because it's never quite been the hit that many of us thought it would be. A clash of beliefs seems like a story for our times, and in this case the clash is between children, led by Swallow, who believe an escaped prisoner, called in the cast list the man, is Jesus, and the adults of the community who think he's the devil incarnate. So, does this new interpretation solve the problem? I'm afraid not. Director and choreographer Tom Jackson Greaves has decided to include dance, and this works well on the whole in that it enhances the already fraught atmosphere, but his idea of putting grief at the centre of the musical by introducing the silent ghost of Swallow's mother isn't justified by the book and confuses rather than clarifies. Well, that's the 1 minute review, but keep watching because there's a great set and some wonderful performances to talk about and a lot more to say about this new interpretation of Whistle Down the Wind. I admit I'm not Andrew Lloyd Webber's biggest fan, but I do like Whistle Down the Wind. That's partly because he keeps his head down and writes in a fairly consistent country rock style rather than trying to be the new Puccini. It's also because there are a lot of challenging ideas being batted around. But Whistle Down the Wind is, as I said, a problem musical. It was launched in the USA, and despite, maybe because of Jim Steinman's gothic lyrics, it never made it to Broadway. Something about it just didn't take off. I suspect the fundamental flaw is that the leader of the children is not a child, as she was in the earlier novel and film, but an adolescent, and really far too old to be so credulous. But never one to let a project go. Cinderella critics take note. Lloyd Webber let director Gail Edwards and then Bill Kenwright tinker with it. The results were better received, but still no appearance on The Great White Way. Now, Tom Jackson Greaves at the Watermill has been given a chance to resurrect this musical about a man mistaken for Jesus. The show begins well. The Watermill's a small theatre, an intimate space, and the set, terrific design by Simon Kenny, is the interior of a building constructed of wide wooden planks which segues into the auditorium and doubles as the church and the barn. From the start, it's as if we are part of the congregation and part of the children's conspiracy, and we feel the claustrophobia of this closed, deeply religious community, a community that's wary of strangers and overprotective of its children. Well, so far so good, but as I said, it is a major new interpretation. Tom Jackson Greaves has a long list of credits as a choreographer, and here, as director, he introduces a considerable amount of dance and stylised movement into his production. The stage can get a bit crowded occasionally, but it works well most of the time. For example, when the two sides circle to form impressive physical barriers against each other. And the use of dance as a metaphor enables the man to move among them to the centre of scenes in which he'd normally be hidden. And this is done most notably in the powerful, fanatical song Wrestle with the Devil, in which the adult community imagine the man as the devil. But the biggest change concerns Swallow's dead mother. In previous productions, she's been an unseen presence, a catalyst in alienating Swallow from her father, and therefore giving her greater motivation for wanting a parent figure in her life. In this production, we see her dead mother watching over her shoulder and dancing with her. It brings grief to the forefront, and therefore changes the balance of the musical, not to mention the balance of her mind. Grief guides Swallow's every thought and deed, it seems. Now, this may be an attempt to explain what otherwise would be irrational behaviour for a 15-year-old, but there is, in my view, nothing in the script to justify this interpretation. The mother, albeit beautifully danced by Stephanie Elstob, mostly gets in the way. In the scene where Amos wants to kiss Swallow and the man watches and comments, here the mother gets involved too, and what should be a tense three-way musical conversation becomes a confusing dance quartet. The stage is small enough as it is without squeezing in a supernumerary. Much more than grief, Whistle Down the Wind is a musical about belief. Its most well-known song, the bland No Matter What, is an anthem for anti-vaxxers and climate change deniers. What you believe is true is the essence of a divided society in which the two sides will not listen to one another, or to evidence, or be prepared to compromise. The children believe the man is Jesus, the adults believe he's the devil. The musical is also about believing in people and how that can help redeem an individual, as in the moving scene between the man and swallow in which he sings the nature of the beast and comes to realise what his life might have been. Robert Tripolino is outstanding as the man. He has the right haunted look and also a powerful voice that moves up into a gorgeous falsetto. Lydia White as Swallow is also excellent. Her singing and acting display all the conflicting emotions of this adolescent girl, and she plays the part of a grieving daughter with a convincing edge of anger. Among the other actors, I particularly like Chrissie Bhima, who gives a strong performance as Candy, cheated in love and the only character with the willpower to leave. Cornay as Amos, the rebel without a cause, could have stepped straight out of a boy band. As usual with the Watermills musicals, the actors also play instruments. I particularly noted Emma Jane Norton, a one-woman wind section, which includes plaintive playing of a flute and saxophone. And she musters a wonderfully stern look as one of the townspeople. Oh, and Alfie Richards plays his electric guitars beautifully and sings well. So, a good effort overall, but the problem of this musical is still to be solved. I give Whistle Down the Wind at the Watermill 3 stars. I hope you enjoyed this review, or at least found it useful, and if you did, why not subscribe and you'll be the first to know about my future reviews. And like, share. Oh, and if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to read my reviews, go to 1minutetheatre.reviews.co.uk. Thank you for watching.